The Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series return to action tonight after a rainout on Monday night, which they have rescheduled. They're going to be breaking it up over the course of the next 3 days. But Hudson O'Neal came home with the win. He was able to get around Tyler Erb early in the race, and then he held off Daulton Wilson at the end to bring home the checkered flag. Before we get into this, I'd like to ask you, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss any of our future videos here at John Trent Racing. As you can see here, this is the top 10. Hudson O'Neal was first, Daulton Wilson second, Jonathan Davenport came in third, Ashton Winger fourth, Devin Ray in fifth, Tyler Erb sixth, Chase Younghand seventh, Brendan Shepard eighth, Ricky Thornton Jr. fell to ninth, and Spencer Hughes finished in 10th. As far as the action in the front, there wasn't a lot. Hudson O'Neal pretty much dominated the race. The bottom really came to life. It was pretty much the only groove by the end of the race, despite the track not rubbering up. But he was able to work around Tyler. Actually, Tyler Erb was able to work around him early on in the race. Took about 3 laps. Both of them were going side by side. Hudson was bottom feeding. Tyler Erb was running around the top side. It was some pretty exciting action here. Here's a look at their battle for the lead. I think this is when Turbo actually does get around Hudson and claims the lead about 3-4 laps into the race. So you can see here, it's pretty solid racing. They're running their own. They're not really racing against themselves, kind of racing just to see who has the best car. I guess Turbo does kind of come down on there to try and take HUD's lane a little bit. And then he has to let up there. Really kind of good job getting that position. Really see the gap that he created because he kind of took that lane away. Hudson had to get off of it. But he would lead for a while, but Hudson would reel him back in, I don't know, for 6 laps later. And he would work around Turbo on the bottom as the top side kind of started to fade away about a third of the way through the race. So here's HUD's move on Turbo to get around him. Turbo kind of drifts up way high up there, really trying to find something up there, and he just doesn't have it. And Hudson O'Neal would work around him. Turbo would try and make it work for a while, but he would eventually fade there. We did get some action here. Daulton Wilson started in 6th, would end up finishing in 2nd. This is how he got around Jonathan Davenport to move into 3rd. Davenport gets way up the track there. You can see him in the number 49 car. Daulton Wilson's down here, scrapes the wall, and that allows Daulton to slip by him on the inside. There just really wasn't anything on the top side later in the race. So here's Daulton's move on Davenport. He gets a pretty decent run there, but Daulton's able to slip by on the bottom, and then he's able to work on Tyler Erb there a little bit. So this is how he gets by Tyler Erb. Let's move this back over here so you can see them back into frame. So there is Tyler Erb and Daulton Wilson, and you can see them on the left side of your screen. Turbo in the 1, Daulton in the 18. And he works around him right here, gets underneath of him in turns 3 and 4. Turbo tries to cut him off. You see Ashton Winger still trying to work that outside with about 12 laps to go. Turbo decided to go up high to try and maybe slip around the lap car there, and that just gave Daulton the lane, and he would take advantage of it and pass Turbo here coming out into the next corner there. You can see right there, well, Daulton beats him to the line. It's a pretty good race here, right? And then Turbo has to really let up because of the lap traffic, and that's kind of where Daulton takes advantage. Right there is where he's able to really take advantage of that spot there because Turbo had to let up because of the lappers there. And then this is coming to the last lap. Again, Daulton tried to track down Hudson. He just didn't have enough time. And again, the bottom groove was pretty much where it was at, especially at the end of the race. You can see he was closing the gap here as they're coming to the checker, but just didn't have enough time, just wasn't able to catch him. Pretty ho-hum race for the most part. Again, there was some passing going on, obviously, throughout the race, but the bottom did kind of really come in, and you really were only seeing cars maybe move up to try and get around lap cars. So that was kind of creating some excitement because they're trying to make something happen. And usually what ended up happening was that they ended up going to the back, as we saw with both Tyler Erb and Jonathan Davenport when they gave up the bottom and then tried to go to the top side to get around some of those lap cars. They ended up losing spots to Daulton Wilson. But that was pretty much the race. I think that's Hudson O'Neal's 3rd win. for the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. I do not think this was a points-paying race, so it won't affect the point standings. It is his 4th win overall because I think he won at East Bay when he was racing with the World of Outlaws earlier this year. But hopefully we'll see the track improve and get some really good racing tomorrow night. Maybe get some 3 wides, see what they can do with that, and really kind of get it really racy and all the lanes are working. So let me know what you guys make, what you guys made of this race here at East Bay, this first night on Tuesday night. Let me know in the comments below.